So what's going on? So I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to be expecting over the next few months and couple of years. Or evil grin right there. So a really brief backstory, because I just want to jump right into this video right here. But I've been saying things about this cycle, this certain bull cycle, that it's going to be vastly different. And it is very different. Differs significantly from all previous cycles. And I don't find any other YouTubers at all saying the type of things that I've been saying. I've only been finding random quotes and, monologues or whatever from billionaires and institutions and research firms that talk about this stuff. But I can't find anybody on YouTube saying it. So, boom, let's go.
I think this cycle is going to be much longer than people think. I definitely don't think this pullback is the end. I think 2025 will be a great year. I think 2026 will be a great year. I think 2027 will be a great year. And we'll see about 2028.
4-year cycle? Is it over?
Yeah.
Woo!
It's over.
Okay, hold on. Explain.
Matt Haugen kicks off with a...
All right, so let's go to this point right here. Let's just listen to a couple minutes of this. Right. There you go.
Appreciate every single one of you. Let's get into it.
I think the percentage of the real reason people didn't invest before the ETF, before the election, was this thing in the back of their mind that said this thing might go to zero. And investors are comfortable with investments that go up and down. They're actually comfortable with losing money, but they're not comfortable with looking foolish and buying something that goes to zero. And I think we just completely eliminated that left tail. There's the Bitcoin obituaries site, which cites the number of times the media says Bitcoin is going to die. I think it's like 1,200 or something. It basically hasn't had one in the last 18 months. So I think that was also a big change. Everybody is buying the ETF. The ETF is an incredible deal. Our ETF charges 20 basis points. You have to be managing billions of dollars in Bitcoin to get that kind of deal with, audit and custody and all those bits and pieces. So it's retail is buying ETFs. It's hedge funds are buying ETFs for the basis trade. It's RIAs buying ETFs. It's family offices buying ETFs. It really has become the primary tool for everyone. The only thing I would say about that is, we're going to see more people buying ETFs next year. I think flows this year will outpace flows last year by a significant fraction. So if you thought last year was good, just wait. I mean, we think the U.S. is an enormous growth market because you're really penetrating that wealth market. And the wealth channel, when you get into Europe, is very different. It's more sort of bifurcated there with significant retail interest and then a lot of hedge fund interest. But interest is growing around the world. They're just each one is its own different market. I do continue to think U.S. wealth is where the next, 100, 200, $300 billion of inflows come. But there's significant growth in Europe as well.
4-year cycle? Is it over?
Yeah.
Woo!
It's over.
Okay, hold on. Explain.
Well, I mean, so my view of the 4-year cycle is you have a catalyst that brings new pools of capital in. So 2011, it was the launch of Coinbase. Retail investors could buy Bitcoin, new capital, then leverage builds up and eventually it pops. 2015, the introduction of Ethereum. 2019, DeFi. 2023, it was Grayscale winning its lawsuit in March against the SEC. We're going to get ETFs bringing in capital. The reason I think it's probably not going to play out over 4 years is I think that's a longer inflow of capital than retail hot ball of money, which was the past 3. And then secondly, we have yet another of those catalysts in November, which is the election completely changing the game in terms of institutional adoption. So even if the ETF-driven cycle would have built up, leveraged, and popped and receded, we have this second tidal wave that's just so much bigger than that first one. It's going to overwhelm it. So will there be, pullbacks? We're seeing one now as leverage comes out of the system, of course. But the election was such a sea change that it's like, it doesn't matter. Yes, there may be this natural thing, but it's just going to get bulldozed over. That doesn't mean we've repealed pullbacks, but I think this cycle is going to be much longer than people think. I definitely don't think this pullback is the end. I think 2025 will be a great year. I think 2026 will be a great year. I think 2027 will be a great year. And we'll see about 2028. Retail is in this very sad place right now.
Yeah, I guess this is a good video. I guess you can go search for it if you want to watch the whole thing. But yeah, I rarely ever see anybody talking about the stuff that I've been saying, where every single cycle has had a burst of liquidity, right? Which is usually about 2 years, give or take a few months prior to the Bitcoin top. Every single cycle, going back to the first cycle that ended in June of 2011, you had the burst of liquidity following the great financial crisis of 2008 in 2009, and then boom, June of 2011, first Bitcoin top. Then 2 years later, we had another Bitcoin top, just because of a burst of liquidity that was following that, the first cycle. So at this point forward, like, we have not had anything like that yet in this particular cycle, and we're going to have it like right now, very, very soon. So what I'm then saying is that we're going to see waves and waves of liquidity over the next couple of years. And this right now that we're about to experience, we're just getting started, is just another run up in a much longer 6-year cycle. Now, what I've been trying to explain to people is that this particular run up, it has to perform very, very well by comparison to just another run up of any other cycle, because if it becomes disappointing, right, and people don't get what they're expecting, they're going to be, oh, to hell with this. And they're going to dump their bags, they're going to exit the market, and they're going to create this crazy crypto winter starting in January. It might last for like a couple quarters. And then it'll pick up again, mid-year, and there'll be a recovery, and there'll be another run-up. And people will be like, what the hell is going on? And things will start pumping again next year. But for now, I'm not expecting much more this particular run-up over the next few months, much more than a 50-cent Kaspa, maybe 80 cents. We could even do over only 40 cents. But if that happens, people are going to get so pissed off, they're going to get so demoralized, and they're going to dump their Kaspa, which will be good for me, who are going to be sticking around, because I can go back in and buy more cheap Kaspa. I'm going to sell, I'm going to swing trade. It's Kaspa starts pumping, going past 20 cents, 30 cents. I'm going to sell some of it, not too much, maybe like 10%, maybe 20 cents, 20%, depending on how far it goes, right? And if I'm wrong, and it keeps on pumping to $3 like these other YouTubers say it will the next couple of months, then that's fine. But then I'll still keep on taking 10% chunks and just cash it out. Then once it goes back down again in January, I'll just buy it back in. But I just don't think that's going to happen. And the fallacy of this is that if people think they're going to get a $3 Kaspa in November, and it only goes to 50 cents, they're going to wait for it to go to $3 in December, and it's not going to happen. And then they're going to lose out on an opportunity to take some profits. Just to take a handful, take some profits, obviously you're going to be making, if it goes to 50 cents and you're buying it at 10 cents, you'll be making a 5X. Just take a handful, take like 10%, take 20%. But if they think it's going to go higher, and they're going to hold, and they're going to watch it go down, 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 and then that's it. And some of those people are going to exit the market, because they're going to say, Kaspa sucks, crypto sucks, I'm done, right? And they're going to be taken off guard, next year, mid-year. And it's not only Kaspa. The same thing could happen with like every single token out there. If your favorite meme coin is like a 20 million market cap right now, and you're expecting it to pump to $1 billion, and it only pumps to like 100 million or maybe 200 million or something like that, you're going to get crazy disappointed. Because if this is just another run up and a much longer bull run, you just have to, you have to take your profits like you would have done last run up, during the Trump pump of last year. So, anyways, guys, that's just my thought. That's my 2 cents and some change. With that said, we're making some money. I wanted to show you this. It is my goal, the goal of this channel, and the goal of my goal for my group for my Discord and my private VIP membership that we're going to be partying on one of these things, right? That is absolutely my goal. Like we just did last week a 500x an MYX finance. And this is just the beginning. So it's going to be a profitable run up for people who know how to play the game. If you don't know how to play the game, you're probably going to become demoralized and you're not going to take profits, and then you're going to get completely wrecked, right? But this is my goal, right? I don't really care about boats. I don't care about sailing. I just want to do what rich people do. And if we're making this type of money, why the hell not, right? I built software, and I've had a lot of advancements of the software over the last year since the Trump pump last time around. We made a killing last year, right? That we find coins at a very, very low market cap. We analyze them. We scan like 10,000 coins a day. We analyze them. We go out there and seek out. We find out what they're doing. They're like all these different parameters. And we find coins and we pick out the ones who are at a low market cap. And they're usually the ones that are going to pump to the moon. Point be told, MYX Finance, right? We've got a few others, like quite a few others that we're trading right now. Some of them are very risky. Some of them are, pretty damn good. Like Advantis, we pull out Advantis. We do over 4x just, over the last week. So it's just like that. Coins we're finding coins really, really early. And I've talked about a few others on a live stream recently. And this is it. This is what we're doing. So Kaspa is going to make us rich down the road. Kaspa is probably going to go to like $20, $30, $40 in 2027. If we're going to get like a $30 trillion market cap, a crypto market cap in 2027, then it's not unrealistic to say Kaspa is going to get like $1 trillion market cap. So we're going to get there, guys, but you got to know how to play the game, and you don't get rich overnight. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hard work with what I've been doing with the software that I have tied into my community. It takes a lot of hard work, and eventually it's going to pay off. Just don't lose hope and learn to take profits and know how to play the game. Catch you later, guys.